All right, good evening. Welcome to DuePoint. Welcome to everyone who's tuned in around the country on the live stream. My name's Rob van der Bijl. I'm one of the executives here at DuePoint. I'm going to be spending the next 45-50 minutes with you, going through what DuePoint does, who we are, and you're welcome to come speak to me after the presentation. If you have any questions, Bridget's here with me this evening. She can help you if you need any administrative help. Alrighty, so let's begin. You're at DuePoint's head office. We're actually a division of another business called Constantia Insurance Company Limited. That's their offices in the background, their little orange logo. They're based just down the road from us in Randburg. They were founded in 1952, so they're nearly 70 years old. Very old, reputable insurance company. They're a registered insurance business in South Africa. There's not many of those. There's only about a dozen actual insurance companies in South Africa. Constantia is one of them. The FSP number that we operate under is that one that you see over there. And you'll notice in the foyer above our water cooler, we've got all those certificates up on the wall. Those are our FSB licenses. So we've got a long and short-term insurance license, we've got our FSP license, we've got an investment license, and we've got our accreditation with the Direct Selling Association and the Direct Marketing Association. Lots of certificates, right? Why so many? Because credibility is very important for a business like this. First of all, we're obviously a financial service provider, insurance company. We've got to abide by all the regulations set out by the Financial Services Board, probably one of the most onerous industries to work within because there's so much regulation that we have to abide with. But for you guys, for our guests this evening, it's very important that we start to build some trust. Right? It's very important. Lots of schemes floating around South Africa, so we take credibility very seriously. I want you to look at this business and start to develop some form of trust with the business, some form of trust with the people in the company that you're looking at forming a partnership with. It's very important to us. These are the individuals here at DuePoint that are part of the executive and the management team. The three people on the far left are all chartered accountants, registered chartered accountants in South Africa. Again, also very regulated individuals. You can see they're quite nerdy. So they get cooler the further right we go. A little bit taller as well and good looking. The first executive on the far left there is Brendan. You saw Brendan. He likes to make sure everyone's sitting in the front and all pushed up to the side here, right? He's not an usher. He's actually the boss. So he's got a lot of experience in financial services, particularly in insurance, because their family's been involved in insurance his entire life. His father's a professor of insurance, taught at Wits for 25 years. They founded very successful financial businesses. Brendan and his brother Stuart, along with their father, founded Prime Meridian Direct, PMD. And we see PMD's advertising all over the place. I think they're now the fourth largest short-term insurer in the country in the space of about 10 years. So they're very successful over there. Very lucky to have someone like Brendan leading this business. Tim Reynolds got a lot of experience in corporate banking. He was with the First Rand Group, a fairly senior position there, quite cushy, I imagine. And he decided to come join the team. He heads up a lot of the regulatory, the auditing, and the financial aspects of our business. Stacey supports him in that role. She's got a lot of experience in auditing. She was with Deloitte locally and abroad. She came back from overseas recently to join DuePoint. So those are the accountants. Then the first non-accountant is Jane. Jane's from the UK. She's been in South Africa for about 10 years. So if you speak to her, she doesn't have a speech impediment. She's just British. She's got a British accent. But she's got a lot of experience in direct marketing and direct selling. And this is very important for our business because this is how we use, this is the fundamental marketing kind of channel that we use to grow this business, to grow awareness in South Africa about who DuePoint is. And then me, I've been working in marketing and advertising most of my career. I tried to do a stint in engineering, but it was far too onerous, too much learning, far too many subjects at Wits. So I decided, no, I'd rather go back to work. So I worked in marketing and advertising pretty much straight out of school, and I opened up my own business in the late 90s, mid-90s. That was fairly successful. It was a digital agency, so we did a lot of work for a lot of very large corporates, primarily in the financial sector too. Worked primarily in the beginning with Investec and helped them form a lot of their online banking and their global websites that you see today. And that was ages ago. Worked with FNB and Standard Bank, so I've got a lot of experience in financial services, even though it's only from a marketing and advertising point of view. So this is the team. Our mandate at DuePoint, so the work that we do every day is to support our wealth engineers, right? And again, at this part of the presentation, I want you to look at these individuals and go, right, these people are going to assist me in being effective and successful in this business endeavor. Because our mandate here is to support you guys. So everything that we do here, and you'll see when I speak about the support slide at the end of the presentation, I'll touch on everything that we do to support our wealth engineers. So it's very important for you guys to trust not only the business, but really the people that you're going to be dealing with, and understand that you've got this common interest with the people that you're partnering with, right? Because you want to collaborate together for your success. As a business, we can only be profitable and successful if our wealth engineers, so the people involved in this business, are successful. So it's a great common ground to have. So, what is the premise of being here? I suspect, how many guests do we have in the room, first of all? Just a quick show of hands. If it's your first time, you're a guest, right? I assume the person that invited you here promised you great tea and coffee, and then they conned you into a presentation. Or perhaps they were more authentic. Perhaps they said to you, are you interested in a financial opportunity? Do you want to make more money? Maybe they were as blunt as that, and your interest was piqued, or you're really good friends with them, and you said, okay, I'll come just because we're friends. Either way, we get a lot of statistics from the FSB. It paints a picture of personal finance in South Africa for a lot of people individually. And the picture that it paints is a fairly dismal picture. And we look at a couple of driving behaviors around why people would be interested in entrepreneurial activity beyond employment, right? Because I assume most of the people in the room are employed already, fortunately, a fortunate few in South Africa. Why would you be interested in making more money? Because you do realize you've got to work extra to make more money, right? It doesn't come for nothing. But we find ourselves here on a Tuesday evening listening to this strange guy up on the stage, instead of being at home, feet up, hot chocolate in your hand, watching Generations or whatever's on at this time of the evening. Definitely not the news, because you don't want to be depressed for the rest of the evening. So why are you here? Why are you here? I like to surmise and think, well, there's a couple of things that drives behavior around, entrepreneurial interest. The one is the economy, right? So we look at the current economy, it's not great. Certainly not something we can depend on. Certainly something we can't depend on changing in the near future for the better. Not at least not in the near future. It's going to take a very long time to fix our economy. The economy is growing at 0.3% at the moment. 0.3% a year. Any company that has got 0.3% a year growth, I promise you, the CEOs and the directors would be fired, right? Because that's no growth at all. You look at any company on the Joburg Stock Exchange. What do the investors typically want with regards to growth rate? They want 10%, 20%, 30%. That's what's expected out of a private company. So as a country, 0.3% growth rate's really bad. Really bad. And this plays out in a number of ways in our roles. We see unemployment, 9 million people unemployed at the moment, right? That's 50% of our workforce. These are people that are willing and able to work sitting at home. Frustrated, I imagine. Extremely frustrated, right? Demotivated. Low self-esteem, not able to find a job. We see companies trying to survive in this economy. Certainly not thriving, right? Certainly not thriving. And this affects us personally, because we see a lot of companies, when they're in these survival modes, they'll often get rid of labor, right, to cut costs. And that means retrenchment for you and I in the labor force. We see it playing out in a number of other ways. We see interest rates rising, right? Interest rates rising means your debt becomes more expensive to maintain. I assume everyone's got debt in this room, right? We all have debt, right? There's very few people. You'll meet very few people that don't have debt in their lives. They're very lucky, but most of us, we've got debt. That four-letter word, right? It's afforded to us at a very early age. The moment you earn a salary, companies will love to debit you if they know that you're earning a salary. Because they go, right, you're earning a salary. I know you're going to get paid every 30 days. Don't you want some of my services and products? I'll debit you every month. And so financial institutions will offer you a whole host of services and products, right? Debt instruments, as well as investments and savings. But South Africans, on average, love to engage in debt instruments. Love to engage in debt instruments. Credit cards, home loans, personal loans, car loans, educational loans, Woolworths card, Edgar's card. But maybe if Edgar's liquidates, then they'll write off all that debt, right? Because Edgar's is also in trouble at the moment. So we engage in all these debt instruments. It exacerbates our personal finance position. We don't even realize it. 50% of people that have debt in their currently in South Africa are under debt review. It means they can't keep up with their debt payments. They've missed 3 payments in a row. 50%. Half the population, pretty much. Half the working population is not able to keep up with debt. And then we've got this other thing that is looming down on us. You don't really think about it in your 20s when you get a little bit older. 30s, maybe you start to think about it. 40s, you certainly start to think about it. I've just turned 40. I'm thinking about it all the time. When you're in your 50s, you start to panic about it. What is that? Pension? That's right, pension. Retirement, right? So here's some data that was published on the Fin24 website late last year in September. So on the Fin24 website, and this gives you an idea of what responsible retirement planning looks like, right? Look at the 3 figures at the top. They represent what an investment would pay you out once you retire. But you've got to build up the investment, right? You've got to save enough money to get this income afforded to you once you retire. Well, retirement's the same as retrenchment, by the way. You realize that, right? It's a prettier word, perhaps. Retirement. Oh, my retirement's going to look so good. I'm going to be on the beach. It's the same as retrenchment. It's the same. You don't get an income in either case, right? So let's take a look at the figures. 5,000 Rand a month, you need to have 1 million Rand in some form of investment that will typically pay you out 5,000 Rand a month. So you've got to save 1 million Rand. Anyone on track to saving 1 million Rand currently? That's easy. That's easy. If you're 20, 25 years old, all you have to do is save 800 Rand a month, right? Because you have to do it for 40 years. You've got to save 800 Rand a month for 40 years to be in the position where you've saved 1 million Rand in some form of cash investment that'll pay you out 5,000 Rand for the next 30 years. So you retire at 60, it'll afford to pay you out until you're 90. Can't live to 91, because then you're really going to suffer. Right? That's the scary thing about financial planning. It's the scary thing about financial planning. 26,000 Rand a month sounds a lot better, right? A lot more dignified. So if you early enough to catch this, 20 to 25, because you need the 40 years, to save 5 million Rand, you only have to save 4,000 Rand a month. 4,000 Rand a month for 40 years. And remember, this 4,000 Rand a month has to go up. Your contribution has to increase in line with inflation. Inflation is sitting at 7-8%. So that 4,000 Rand has to increase by 7% every year. Are you all getting 7-8% increases every year in your salary? Not. You need to go speak to your boss. You do. You're getting a salary reduction and you don't even realize it. You don't get an increase in line with inflation. You're getting a salary reduction. And if interest rates go up, it's even worse. So the stats that we get from the FSB, like I said, paints this picture of personal finance, and it shows. Majority of South Africans only start engaging in investments at the age of 50. When you're in your 50s, did you not get the note that said you had to save for 40 years? Right? Unfortunately, they don't teach personal finance at school. It boggles my mind. It's probably one of the most important aspects of life. They will teach you biology, geography. Where's personal finance? Right? No one speaks about it. You have to just fumble your way through life and expect to understand what personal finance is and how it affects your life. And so we have only 2% of South Africans getting to retirement financially independent. The rest of us, 98% of us, get to retirement financially dependent. Dependent on who? No one's got money. Who are you going to go to for money? Family, kids become a financial burden to the kids. Can you see how that cycle repeats itself through generations? Why do people only start investing in their 50s? Is it because they've only suddenly figured out that they need to save for retirement? Or are they not in a position to do anything about it until they're in their 50s? If you buy a house or a car or have kids, when do those financial burdens disappear out of your life? 20 years after you finished paying your bond off in your 50s? The kids get to 20 years old, probably when you're in your 50s. Maybe they're out the house through school, hopefully through university. They're no longer financial burdens to you anymore. So for the first time in your life, do you have money to put away in investment in your 50s? Before then, you are too busy paying debt and the cost of living every month that you can't do anything about it even if you wanted to, right? So these are all the problems: economy, debt, retirement planning. These are all associated to employment as well, right? Because if you're begging for a 7-8% increase, is there any sight of your life suddenly changing financially to get yourself out of the cycle? Will a 7% increase help you get out of the cycle of debt? It's not going to do anything to you. Are you suddenly going to be the one person that gets that raise that suddenly makes a difference? What happens when we get a raise? We buy a nicer car. We start to dress a little bit nicer. We just start spending more money, right? We never think about savings and investments. Unfortunately, I'm hoping to change that perception for you this evening and give you a system, a platform that is able to change it for you too. So out of all of these issues, as an enterprise, as a business, we saw an opportunity. We saw an opportunity to create a platform that gives the average South African the ability to engage in something that can break them out of the cycle, out of this poverty of debt. Allow them to change their future instead of desperately hoping that they can start saving or investing at the age of 50. So that's the opportunity we're going to be discussing tonight. We developed a system called the DuePoint system. It was launched last year in February. We have three aspirations, three goals for the people that join this business. Number one, get rid of your debt. That's number one. Get rid of your debt. We don't think about that, right? I know I don't. When I bought a house, I didn't say, let me go for a smaller house, one that I can pay off in 10 years. I said, let me find the nicest, biggest house I can that the bank will give me a loan for because I'll look like I'm successful. And I'll take all 20 years to pay that bond off. That's what we do, majority of us, right? So number one, pay your debt off. Number two, start investing in a true investment, something that you can look forward to, something that you can plan long term, something that matures in 5, 10, 20, or 30 years' time, that is a true investment. And number three, we just want to see our wealth engineers happier. But that's the reward that you have to connect to. Because being here on an evening like this when you could be at home certainly doesn't make you happier, right? This is kind of like a grudge purchase. This is kind of being pushed into a situation that you wish you weren't in. I wish I was at home watching Generations. I don't want to be listening to this guy on the stage. But he's telling me that I can change my life, that I have potential of changing my situation. I have the opportunity to take control over my future, over my finances. So I'm going to endure this. I'm going to endure it, and I'm going to see what can come of it. And the ultimate prize is that you're happier at the end of the month. How many of us are happy at the end of the month? Right? We all just got paid. You should all be happy. Or have the debit orders already gone off yesterday? No, you're not happy when the debit orders go off. We want to see our wealth engineers happier. That's ultimately really what we want to do. But it can only be achieved by you realizing what it actually feels like to be debt-free and to start contributing into a real investment. Okay. So those are the three aspirations. How does this work? Our guests here this evening, you've got the opportunity of joining DuePoint. You actually contract with us, and when you contract with us, we call you wealth engineers. A wealth engineer, very appropriate title. And as wealth engineers, we want you to do one thing, and that is to go out and build what we call channels of distribution. And we're going to be speaking about channels of distribution all the time, and I'll show you what one of those look like. Into these channels of distribution, DuePoint will attempt to place product with the people that you introduce to us. And that's basically how this entire business works. It's as simple as that. The benefit for you is that you get to create additional income for yourself. This is the only way you're going to pay your debt off any faster than what you're doing now. It's not the 8% increase that you get next year, if you're lucky. You have to create an additional income stream. Supplement your income with an additional income stream. The system's not designed to replace your salary. It's there to supplement it so you can get rid of this debt as quickly as possible that you have. The nature of our business is recurring income. Absolutely awesome benefit. Awesome benefit. Only some companies generate recurring income. It's the ability to invest in something or to have an asset that doesn't pay you once off, right? So if you owned a house, not a bonded house, you own a house. The house is yours, cash. And you rented that house out. That rental that you got every month would be seen as recurring income, right? My dad calls it making money while you're sleeping. Great thing to have. That's what recurring income is. This business allows you to create an asset that pays you recurring income. You can be in the position one day where you take 3 months off, go overseas for 3 months. This business will pay you out every single month. Does that happen in employment? Not even remotely, right? We all cling to our 15 days of leave we get a year. Please, President, give us one more public holiday. Right? And that's all you have to look forward to. So recurring income is very powerful. This is really what sets you free. You get to harness the power of duplication. Power duplication is leverage. It allows you to leverage your effort and your time in this business, because these channels of distribution that I speak about are your ability to go out and build teams of people that collaborate with you to increase your recurring income. Like a CEO. The CEO in any other business, successful business, has got staff working for him. He comes to work at the same time and he leaves at the same time. He's got 24 hours in a day, the same as the person that works in the mailroom. They've got the same amount of time. What's the CEO doing? That's different. He's leveraging all of us that are working for him so that he can get the biggest salary and the biggest bonus, right? So you have the ability to do the same thing, a similar thing, in collaborating with these people that you bring into your channels of distribution. This is a flexi-time business. You're completely accountable for the time that you spend in this business. Now, this is a double-edged sword, because on the one side, you might think, oh, that's great, that's so convenient. I can do this business when I got spare time. Anyone got loads of spare time? That's the other side of the sword. Because I'm going to say to you, if you want to be successful in this business, you have to sacrifice time. You've got to fit this business into your week, permanently, consistently, to be successful. It's not a business that you do when you have spare time. No. It's not like trying to go to gym on the 1st of January, New Year's resolution. This year I'm losing weight. I'm getting muscles. You go on the 1st, you go on the 3rd, maybe on the 7th, and then you forget that you had gym membership. Right? It's not a New Year's resolution. This is a business. Business. You have to sacrifice time to be successful. At the end of the presentation, I'm going to ask you, there's going to be a slide that comes up. Nice and orange, bright. It's called the decision slide, decision time. The decision is, where does this business, how does this business fit into your schedule? If you haven't made that decision, I suspect you might fail at this business. No startup capital. This is a very low-risk endeavor. There's no registration fees for this business, no startup fee. There's no contract that we sign you into for 12 months or 24 months. There's no box of products that you have to buy and invest in to start in this business. So very low risk. No qualifications or experience required. We work in financial services, very onerous, right? Everyone that works in this business, we've got to do RE exams, KI exams with the FSB. We've got to do, we have to have certain qualifications just to work in this business. We've got to have experience to work in this business. Painful stuff. You don't have to worry about any of that. We actually contract you out of any of that obligation. And you can still reap the benefits of being in a business that creates recurring income. You get to build an asset. If I propose to you that I want your spare time, I want you to sacrifice time with your kids, I want you to sacrifice time watching Generations, Game of Thrones is about to come out next month, you're going to have to sacrifice that time, right? Time on weekends, watching sport, whatever it is. If I propose to you, I want that time for you to be successful in this business, at least have ownership over the asset that you are building. How many of us will spend 40, 45 years working for someone else? No profit share, no dividend check, no say in what the business is doing, but we'll spend our lives there. Our lives there. This business, you get to build an asset that you have ownership over. You can give it to your kids one day. If something happens to you, if you die, you can cede it to your beneficiaries. You can move it into a family trust. Right? There are options around the building of this asset. There's no selling involved. We contract you out of selling. You should be very excited. How many people thought, oh, what are they selling in this place? Right? That was the first question you asked the person when they said, are you interested in a business opportunity? Are you interested in making money? You said, what's the products? We're selling shakes. What's going on? Right? That's the first question. There's no selling in this business. Most of us are terrible at sales, right? And some of us are terrified of sales. So you should all be very happy when that little bullet point came up. The nature of this business, because it's financial, the products are financial. They're intangible. They don't take up space. You don't have to order stock from reception when you start doing well in this business. You don't have to bring your uncle's bucky to load the bucky up with all the product to go sell on the weekend. We make this business as convenient as possible and as easy as possible to get involved in. And this is all predicated on you going out and building these channels of distribution. So they begin with you, but you become a wealth engineer, you go out and all you're going to be doing is telling people about the DuePoint business opportunity. That's it. As simple as that. And when you're successful in that, when you've got individuals that come with you to a presentation or tune into the live stream and catch the vision of what the business can do for them, and they join DuePoint and they take out a product with DuePoint, that is the beginning of your channel of distribution. And this is what it can look like after a certain amount of time, because the people that you introduce to the business are going to go out and introduce the business to other people. And those people introduce the business to more people. And you have this organic growth that can take place. This is what your channel of distribution looks like. This is what your asset looks like. This is what it looks like to be the CEO of an asset that you have ownership over. You're getting paid on a recurring basis for every single dot that you see on the screen. And next month, there'll be a few more dots, and your recurring income will go up. This is leverage, power of duplication. Okay? So this is what the channel of distribution looks like. This is what you're going to primarily be doing in this business. This is my warning slide, my disclaimer slide. See the ballerina? That's what we like to see. That's what it really takes to be a ballerina. Professional one, at least. My daughter's a ballerina. Her feet don't look like that yet. She's only 4. But if she carries on, if she wants to become a professional dancer, if she wants to be a successful ballet dancer, she's going to have to endure that. And business is exactly the same. If you've ever had the pleasure of trying to start your own company or business, that's easy, right? Go to the registrar's office, you fill out a form, 100% shareholder, tell all your friends, I own a business, I'm a business owner. But to be successful, 95% of new businesses fail in the first year. 95%. It is difficult. And it's no different in this business. Fortunately, you've got an entire team that are experienced and have shown success in financial services already that you're partnering with. So I'm going to tell you now, never be fooled by someone that says, oh no, this is easy. Oh, you want to make some money in this scheme? Easy. Put your money here, I'll give you double the money next week. Sounds like a good deal, right? They're lying to you. Get married, it's easy. It's easy. That's what your friends say. It's easy being married. They're lying to you. Lose weight, it's easy. Go on diet, it's easy. To be successful in any sphere of your life requires diligence, persistence, commitment. It is not hard, not easy. It's difficult, right? And the business is exactly the same. We're nearly a 70-year-old insurance company. We're not one of these get-rich-quick schemes. We're not. So this is my warning slide. Don't say I didn't warn you, right? When you come complain and you tell me the business is hard, we're going to high five and say, see, I told you. But you're going to keep pushing. The trick is not to give up. Okay, so how do we pay our wealth engineers? We pay our wealth engineers what we call a return at the end of every month based on how many products you have in your channel. Okay? The base return fee that we pay for every product is R27.50. So remember the first 5 people you introduced? These people lie on your first point. They are 1 point away from you. So instead of paying you the R27.50, we pay you double that, okay, on your first point. On your second point, these are people that have been introduced by the people you introduced to the business. These are friends of friends, acquaintances of acquaintances, colleagues of colleagues. They're on point 2. Again, we pay you R55 for every product. Remember, it's recurring income every month, okay? Point 3, the multiplier drops to 100%. All the way down to 0.4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You see the multiplier starts to drop. But what's important to note is that from 0.8 onwards, we'll keep paying you 4% of that R27.50. We don't limit you on how large your channel can get. And so we don't limit you on how much money you can earn at DuePoint, right? The key is don't give up. Don't give up. So this is the mechanics of the earnings, what we call returns. I think it's fairly simple. The next natural question we get is, well, how much can I earn after a certain amount of time? After 3 months or 6 months or a year, or you keep talking about long term, how much money can someone make in this business after 5 years? So what we did was we mapped out this thing called the path to success, which illustrates how much money you could potentially earn in this business. It is based on a growth formula. The growth formula is called 3 plus 2. It assumes that in your first month, you can bring 3 people successfully into this business. 3 in your first month. And every consecutive month thereafter, you only have to bring in another 2, right? So let's call today the 1st of June, for argument's sake. In June, you're going to bring in 3 people. In July, you only have to bring in 2. In August, another 2. In September, another 2. That's why we call the growth formula 3 plus 2, because it's 3 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, and you're going to do that forever, consistently. If you can do that, you can expect to be earning, after 6 months, R2,500 a month. So look around the audience. No one seems excited by R2,500. No one's left the room. Is that a lot? Too little? Too little. It's a start. It is a start, right? But let me give you some context, because we speak about this thing called debt. Our first aspiration for our wealth engineers is to see you become debt-free. So what do we do with the R2,500 that we've made as additional income? Do we spend it on frivolous things? Or do you put it into the debt that you have? So here we've got an example of someone with R1 million debt. R1 million they owe the bank now, because they went to the bank and asked for R1 million to pay off a house that they found. And the bank agreed, based on their salary, and at current interest rates, over a 20-year term, they probably need to pay the bank back 11 to 11,500 rand a month for the next 20 years. You're 35, and you take out this bond. When are you going to pay your bond off? 55 is the first time you'll become a homeowner. But you join DuePoint, and with some success, 6 months later, you're earning 2,500 rand, and you decide to listen to Rob, and you put that 2,500 rand into your bond as an additional payment. What is the effect of that? The effect is that your bond term will drop from 20 years to 11 and a half years. You'll pay the house off when you're 46 and a half instead of when you're 55. Do you know how much money you've saved yourself in repayments? Any guesses? 2,500 rand. How much money is that going to save you in the long term, do you think, on R1 million house? It saves you R1 million. It saves you 100% of the value of the house. Little 2,500 rand. You can't even buy a pair of Nikes for 2,500 rand nowadays, right? Maybe you can get 6 Avos from Woolworths for 2,500 rand nowadays. But that's the important thing, right? That's the maturity. That's the understanding of personal finance that goes, right, I'm not going to spend my money there. I'm going to put it into my bond. Because I know for myself, I'm just like, oh, that's the bond payment. I make the bond payment every month. I have to pay that for 20 years. I don't actively go, how can I pay my bond off sooner? because I never realized the actual consequence of what the debt was costing me. After 12 months, over 100,000 rand annually that you've created for yourself. You keep going, I hope. After 24 months, you're nearly 30,000 rand a month. After 36 months, nearly 50,000 rand a month. Can you picture getting an extra 46,000 rand every month over and above your salary? At 30 months, if you're earning 36, 37,000 rand, if you put that into your bond, here we've got an example of a person with a 5 million rand bond. You put that as an additional payment in there, you'll pay a 5 million rand house off in 7 years. I'm 40. By 47, I've paid off my first house. 5 million rand, done. I live in the house that I actually own. I buy another house. By the age of 54, I now own 2 houses. I'm renting the one out already. Right? 30,000 rand a month for a 5 million rand house. By the age of 61, I've now paid off 3 houses to the value of 5 million rand each. I'm renting out 2. Living in the one, getting passive income from rental, 60, 70,000 rand a month. Or I can sell all 3 houses and buy a 15 million rand house. Does that sound like a better retirement plan? Right? 30 months away. 30 months away. After 48 months, nearly 70,000 rand a month. And after 60 months, short 5 years. 5 years! You've created yourself nearly 1 million rand annually of recurring income. At what stage of this path to success can you tell your boss what you really think about him? Right? This business is about giving yourself choices. Do you have the option of telling your boss what you think about him now? No chance. There's 9 million other people that will gladly take your job. Right? This is how we create options for ourselves. Options and choice and true freedom. Brendan always says, money isn't everything, but it's 99% of it. Unfortunately. Right? So this is all based on 3 plus 2. Remember I said 3 in the first month, 2 every consecutive month. It's based on example. This is just an example. The accountants did this in Excel. Fancy Excel, but they designed it nonetheless. You can join this business. Like I said, joining is very easy. But to be successful at it is another thing. You can join the business like many wealth engineers and be 0 plus 0. And after 6 months, they're still at 0. And after 60 months, they'll still be at 0. But you can do more than 3 plus 2. We've got lots of wealth engineers that do more than 3 plus 2. We invite them to come share their stories once a month on the stage. Completely unrehearsed. They come tell about the experience that they've had. Go onto our YouTube channel. All these testimonies are on YouTube for you to watch. Mike and Vilna, they've doubled their income every 4 months. They still come and moan, tell me the business is hard. I high-five them, tell them get back to work. But look at that. The ability to double your income every 4 months. Is that even remotely possible in employment? You can maybe double your income maybe in 8 years, 9 years, if you're getting a 10% raise every year. In 4 months, they've doubled their income. And then in the next 4 months, they doubled it again. Did they have to work twice as hard? No, because they're building an asset that pays recurring income. They're working the same amount of time every single month. Right? This is the beauty of recurring income. Lydia, she joined in October. By December, earning 385 rand. You think, that's fairly mediocre in terms of growth. But look what she did between December and March. She caught fire. How much money do you need to have put in an investment to earn 5,000 rand a month? Do you remember the retirement slide? How much money did you have to have in the bank? 1 million rand. Lydia created 1 million rand cash investment equivalent in the space of 6 months. and retirement planning says, you can save for 40 years. 40 years! Lydia did it in 6 months. Roloff, he's been with us since the beginning, since the day we launched. Nearly 26,000 Rand a month. And he's only getting started. He complains that he didn't have enough time last year because he was running his own business. He was in education. Sold the business in December, and now I hope to see, and he already has. You look at his jump from November to that. He nearly doubled that income in that short space of time. You're going to see Roloff do great things this year because he's contributing as much time as possible into this business. These are not special individuals. These are normal people. Some have got matric, some don't. Some have got corporate background, some don't. Some have got degrees, some don't. The common thing that everyone is doing is spending committed time in the business to be successful. We've got hundreds of wealth engineers that we pay every single month that have created an additional income stream for themselves, with the power, the potential to increase their income on a monthly basis. Go ask your boss for an increase every month and see what he says. Right? We see a business like this, and then you compare it to employment, and you think, what am I doing? Right? So that was our returns. That's what we pay our wealth engineers at the end of every month. Over and above the return that we pay our wealth engineers every month, we have a XP rewards program. It is a rewards program. You can see it as an incentive program. We kind of see it as a training program of sorts. But basically how this works is when you become a wealth engineer and you start engaging in normal wealth engineer behavior by coming to presentations, bringing guests, watching the live stream at home, coming to training, logging into the website. When you do all these things, we give you something called XP, right? It stands for experience points. Basically, all it does is it just shows us how active you are as a wealth engineer. That's all it really does. It's got no monetary value. It's XP, right? So we give you XP. When you start to collect more and more XP with all the behavior, all the activity that you engage with, and your business starts to grow at the same time, your channel of distribution starts to grow, we start rewarding you through this XP rewards program, okay? As a side note, you see the pink little side note there? This is just a side note. I just want to warn our current wealth engineers. On Saturdays, head office here is getting overwhelmed by the amount of people that are arriving on Saturdays. We had 300 people arrive on Saturday. So I need to start de-incentivizing people from coming to head office, right? So what we've done is we've now offering you double the XP if you watch the live stream instead of coming to head office for the intro presentations. So you get to stay at home, turn on YouTube, you can still be in bed, you can shout at your wife or husband to bring you some toast and some tea, and you can watch the intro presentation in your bed, right? With your guests in the bed with you, also watching the live stream. Because I'm going to give you twice the amount of XP if you do that instead of coming to head office, okay? Just as a side note. Okay, so now you do these two things. You're collecting more XP and your business starts to grow. I start giving you rewards over and above the return that I'm paying you every month, right? So if you join this evening, you'll be a rank 0 wealth engineer. See, there's no rank 0 at the top there because it doesn't mean anything, right? You've done nothing. You're still part of the 0+0 club. But very quickly you can get to rank 1 because you only need 1,000 XP and you need 4 products in your channel. And when you do that, you suddenly become rank 1, and I'll be paying you a return at the end of the month. But over and above that, in the XP rewards program, I give you a 55 Rand bonus, a 55 Rand reward to say, well done for getting to rank 1. And then you go for rank 2, and you'll see the rewards start to get bigger and better as you rank up in this XP rewards program, right? 20,000 Rand, 50,000 Rand. We give away tools that make you more effective at building your channel. So here's Patrick and Pumi at rank 5 with their Lightning Memory 6. Tiny little device that plugs into everything. That little USB stick plugs into Apple, Android, tablets, phones, laptops, computers, TVs. Plugs into everything. More importantly, we've got all our video collateral on that little USB stick so that you can show people our videos, right? Show them who DuePoint is, what we do, regardless of where you are, what device you have on you. It allows you to be more effective at building these channels of distribution. Here's Donnie with his rank 7 business cards. These are, the words don't even do it justice. We call them premium business cards. We'll call them luxurious business cards. You have to feel one of these business cards in your hands to realize the impact that cards have on building business like these. They cost us 12,500 Rand to manufacture. There's no printing done on this. Those cards are gilded in gold. You see the Bibles that are gilded in gold around the edges? It's a similar process to that. It's gilded in gold around the edges. The logo is foiled in gold in the front. It's on a recycled black suede paper that's 4 times thicker than normal business cards. I've worked in advertising for 20 years. I've never seen anyone with cards remotely this valuable. Why? Why would we do that? Why would we give you such expensive business cards? Because people haven't heard of DuePoint. If I come up to you in the street and say, I've got a wonderful opportunity for you, it's with a company called DuePoint, you'll go, but if I show you my business card, and you look and feel my business card, and you realize this business card costs 30 times more than the business card I've got in my pocket, I might be too embarrassed to bring my business card out, but I will give you some time. I'll give you a little more credibility to tell me about this company called DuePoint. Okay? So these are tools for you to build your business. At rank 9, DuePoint will take you and your family away, business class flights, for 7 days, all expenses paid trip, to a 5-star luxury resort, not once when you get to rank 9, every single year going forward. Let that sink in. Think about it again. Every single year, and we've had someone get to rank 9 in 5 months. In 5 months, you're in the position, let me say your family are in the position where they're going to enjoy business class flights to a 5-star resort for 7 days, all expenses paid trip, every single year. From now until, as long as you're doing DuePoint, as long as you rank 9 and above. This is where we're going. Take a look.
All of your wind has gone, and all of the paths you've drawn have sunk to the ocean sun where no one can see. You stand on at the dark embrace, cower the dreams you chase under the rust and blood. Don't let yourself give up.
How does that look? So tonight I want you to go Google the Western Turtle Bay. Go look at the resort that we're going to. There's already 4 families that have qualified for rank 9 already. Like again, I say it again, they're not special individuals. They're special maybe in my heart, but from a capacity point of view, they're not special. They're just spending a lot of time committed to this business. So every single person in this room can get to rank 9. You need to get excited about rank 1 first. Can you get excited about rank 1? 55 Rand. One cappuccino, maybe that's all you can afford with 55 Rand, but you're going to enjoy that cappuccino because you're going to know that if you can get to rank 1, you can get to rank 9. Available for everybody. At rank 11, paid for cash. Not by you, by us. No debit order at the end of the month for you. We are serious about getting you to the status called debt-free. So look at the car. Choose one of them. Picture getting into it, driving it around, knowing that you're not paying for the car. Or rather that you've earned the car. You have earned it. We don't give things away here at DuePoint. You earn them. This is rank 11. The program shows, or should I say the program shows up to rank 20. We've already planned to rank 28. When we think about long term, when we plan all the support structures that we put in place for our wealth engineers, we've already planned the reward structure out to rank 28. This is 11. This is early days. Early days. Who gets to rank 11? The people that don't give up. Those are the only people that can get to rank 11. We've got another benefit. This one's about to end. So we have a wealth quest. A wealth quest is something that we run every month. It is a challenge that we issue to our wealth engineers. Every month there's a new one. May's challenge was to bring in 2 wealth engineers under the age of 30 and help them get qualified. In other words, help them get 3 people of their own into the business. And if you could do that in the month of May, you'll have a big, smart LED TV sitting in your lounge by the end of next month. Right? But May's nearly over. So I know there's wealth engineers that are going for this, and they've said to me, it's easy. It's easy. They haven't dealt with 20-year-olds yet. You deal with a 20-year-old. To convince a 20-year-old of something, you need 2 TVs if you're successful in that. So that's the challenge, right? I get very excited when I see young people joining this business because it's a challenge to get young people to understand the effect of long-term decisions. It is. They're having too much fun in their 20s, right? They don't have the accountability that suddenly lands on our laps when we get older. So I get very excited when I see youngsters joining this business because I see they're so far ahead of us. They've got 20 years on me. The things they can do in 20 years, by the time they're 40, if they're engaged in a business like this and they make it successful, that rank 11 is just the start of things for them, right? Alrighty. So this slide basically explains our business model. Some people think we're spending too much money on our wealth engineers. They get a little bit worried. They think you guys are going to liquidate if you don't stop spending money on the wealth engineers. Okay, you don't have to worry about that. We've got very experienced actuaries that have looked at the business, that have built the business model. We've got a lot of experience in this business. On the left is a traditional business model, and insurance companies will spend a lot of money in marketing and advertising to acquire new business, right? You listen to the radio. You know, there's the one insurer that says, you phone us for a quote. If we can't better it, we'll pay you 400 Rand. That gives you an idea of what client acquisition costs an insurance company. It costs them a lot of money. DuePoint doesn't do any advertising, so you won't see our logo outside of this building. You won't, unless someone gives you a business card or tells you about it, because we do. We rely on our wealth engineers, on you guys, to tell people about DuePoint. And for us, we find that to be a way more effective form of marketing than traditional marketing, right? Don't you get irritated when someone just phones you out the blue to offer you something, or you get some advert that pops up during TV, during Generations, right? Irritating. So we've gone for this business model. So instead of spending the billions that the insurance industry spends on client acquisition through marketing and advertising, we take that portion of the premium and we pay it to our wealth engineers in the form of those returns and rewards that we've just gone through. Okay, I hope that explains the business model. The products, you might be wondering, what on earth? The product has been going on for 45 minutes. He hasn't even said anything about the products. We have 3 products. They are financial products. You can look at taking out one or all 3 because the benefits are different. The first product is called Access Wealth. It is an investment product. It's 299 Rand a month, of which 100 Rand gets invested into a tax-free investment fund. That sits with Sanlam, right? The biggest investment house in the country. It's in your name. It's not a fixed or notice deposit. You can draw those funds out of that investment within 72 hours. So this is the investment product. We give you a little bit of insurance with this investment product. We give you 110,000 Rands worth of personal accident cover. So if you own this product, this investment, and you get killed in a car accident, for example, we'll pay you out to your beneficiaries 110,000 Rand. That'll afford a great funeral for you. Right? And you then can concede your assets of DuePoint to your kids. Okay? The second product is an insurance product only. So it's strictly an insurance product. It's called Wealth Guard. It's 274 Rand a month. But this time, you get 1.1 million Rands worth of personal accident cover. The beauty of these personal accident cover products is that it's accessible to anyone over the age of 18, right? Because we don't discriminate you from a health point of view, because we're not profiling you from a risk point of view. So you can be 70, you can be diabetic. You can still take out this product. It's still only 274, and the benefit will still be the 1.1 million Rands worth of personal accident cover. The third product is called the Wealth Points Buyers Club. This product aims to save you money on the money that you're spending every month anyway. Okay? So if you become part of this Buyers Club, it's 274 Rand a month. You get to engage in all the discounts that we've negotiated with that list, the list of suppliers that you see over there. So a very popular one is ShopRite Checkers, because we spend a fortune at ShopRite Checkers, right? They said the minimum a family should be spending on groceries is 7,000 Rand a month. 7,000 Rand a month. People don't even earn that. And that's how much you need to feed a family of 4. Okay? That's a whole nother discussion. But we've got ShopRite Checkers there. You get 2.5% off your entire trolley at ShopRite Checkers. So there are different discounts for every supplier there. But we've negotiated discounts with all of them. Eagle Ford signed on early this year. They've already sold 2 cars through Eagle Ford. We've got the Entertainer, 1.2 million Rands with a buy one, get one free just through the Entertainer. Gives you access to restaurants around the country, hotels around the world. We've got a great restaurant across the road here called Juniper's. They're part of the Entertainer program. You can go sit there with your friend. You can order a fillet steak for 170, 180 Rand, whatever it is. They give you the second one for free. Everyone comes to me and says, Nando's on. Don't go to Nando's, go to Juniper's. 180 Rand fillet for free. All right? They are awesome. There's awesome value in this product. If you're looking for immediate value out of any other product, this is the one to have. Okay, we are adding new suppliers to this all the time. On Saturday, Brendan announced Always On. Always On, I've got 2,500 hotspots around the country. We've negotiated data from them at nearly 1/3 of the price for people on the Wealth Points Buyers Club. So we're doing this every month, always adding suppliers. Those are the products. If you have any questions around the products, come speak to me afterwards. I remind you of the support that you get here. If you become a wealth engineer, do not disappear into the ether, thinking that you can do this on your own and you're going to do it better than everyone else and you know better. Wrong. This is a straightforward, simple business. We know how to do this business, right? So come plug into the support that we've created for you. The facilities are for our wealth engineers. You can have your meetings here. You can do your own presentation. You can use all the free Wi-Fi. Drink the tea and coffee. We live stream every event out to the entire country daily. Why? Because it creates leverage for you. You get to now introduce people outside of Johannesburg to this business, and they can tune in live every single day. Okay? All the support we do here is for our wealth engineers so that you're as successful as possible. Which slide is this? Yes, that's right, the decision slide. All the other slides were gray and blue. This one's orange. We're at the end of the presentation. What is the decision we're going to make? Are you interested in a business like this? Do you think it's still a scheme? Do you think it's embarrassing? Or you realize, I don't have time for this business? Those are all the obstacles that come up in your mind when you think of something that you think is risky. There's a condition in the mind that highlights risk. It makes it bigger than what it actually is. It stops us from making change in our lives, right? You need to overcome that. Ever try to wake up early in the morning? You have a 5-minute argument with yourself before you get out of bed. You notice that? The only time you actually get out of bed when the alarm goes off is when you don't think about it. You just get up. There's a similar decision. It's a very low-risk decision. Like I said, we don't sign you into any 12 or 24-month contract. You can test this business for a month and cancel the product and leave, right? But for those of us that are interested, have you made the decision of how this business is going to fit into your life on a weekly basis, at least? You want to be successful, right? You want to get to rank 9. You want to get to rank 1. You're supposed to say, no, I want to get to rank 1. I want to get to rank 1. How does this business fit into your schedule? Is it weekends? Is it every night of the week? Is it just Mondays and Wednesdays? Is it Tuesdays and Thursdays? Is it Friday lunchtime and Wednesday lunchtime? You need to make that decision. And it's fun. Promise it's fun. Don't speak to the accountant so much. They're not that much fun. Jane and I, we're more fun than the rest. But it is. It's a social business, and there's a lot of gratitude that comes out of community, right? And this is very a communal business. Employment actually flies in the face of that, because the person you sit next to at work, you're in competition with. You're in competition with everyone at work. Why do you think educational enterprises are thriving like they are at the moment? You see all these new private schools jumping up? It's because the employment sector is becoming so competitive. Parents are now neurotic about creating kids that are competitive in a work environment. You know how many of my peers are now suddenly doing MBAs? It's 200,000 rand to do an MBA. Everyone's doing MBAs. They're scared to death of losing their jobs. They want MBA on their CV, right? This business, we work together. For once, you're going to collaborate with everyone that you get involved with. And that's the decision that we're going to make tonight. We make joining very easy. If you've got your own tablet or smartphone, or you can use one of the iPads that we have available, jump onto the homepage, www.DuePoint.net, click on that big blue apply button, go through the application process. It'll take about 7 minutes. In 7 minutes, you'll be a wealth engineer that can suddenly start going for rank 1. How quick is that? Try to register a company with a company registrar's office. Months. 7 minutes at DuePoint. We've got merchandise. It's not a profit center for us. Please consider getting business cards. Please. You'll see them on display in the merchandise cabinet. Do not go and profess to people that you've joined the greatest business in the world, and they ask you for a business card, and you say, no, sorry, I don't have one. First impressions count, guys. Have business cards, act professionally, speak professionally, look professional. Okay? So consider the merchandise. The USB sticks are very convenient because we've got all our videos on there. So if you don't want to use data, if you don't want your friend to use data, give them a USB stick. We've got all our videos on there. They can plug it into TVs nowadays. You can watch our presentations quite easily. So all the merchandise is in the cabinet. I remind you of the YouTube channel that we have. Every video that we've ever produced is on the YouTube channel. All the training that we do, there's interviews on there, there's the testimonies from the wealth engineers, the different formats of intro presentation, it's all on there. We've got a mobile app. Once you become a wealth engineer, download the mobile app. You can run your business from your smartphone. That app will tell you everything. We're about to come out with an updated app that is going to blow everyone's minds. Okay, so it'll be coming out in the next couple of months. Guys, I thank you for your time. We're done. Our time is over. I hope to see more of you. Come speak to me outside if you have any questions. Thank you.